Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Women's World. Today is going to be a very special edition of the program as we are celebrating International Women's Day. So we would like to salute every woman around the globe, not only here in Egypt. This is going to be a very special edition of the program. We have with us a very special guest here in the studio. I won't tell you who she is right now. Stay with us. We'll be right after the break. Back, ladies and gentlemen. As I mentioned earlier, this is going to be a very special edition of Women's World as we celebrate International Women's Day. Again, we would like to salute every woman around the world. Since this is a very special edition of the program, of course, we're going to be having a special report about International Women's Day. We're going also to be hosting here in the studio a very dear guest. We're going to be hosting Abla Fadila. She is a pioneer in presenting of children programs in the radio, in the Egyptian radio. We will know a lot about her career and her accomplishments and what she has achieved throughout the long years since she graduated and took over the children programs here in this building, in the radio in particular. We're going to take a look at the press as well right after this. We're going to take a look at some interesting news in the press regarding women, and we'll start off with a news that reads: the Union for the Mediterranean holds conference to set out projects of priority for the empowerment of women. The organization is to hold the conference on March the 26th and 27th in Barcelona over the empowerment of women in the social and economic fields. The gathering aims at encouraging the implementation of projects and initiatives for the empowerment of women in those fields. Google celebrates International Women's Day. Google celebrated the International Women's Day, lauding accomplishments by women in social, political, and economic spheres. Google changed its icons on that day, putting up pictures of women from all ethnicities and nationalities. The day is generally known as marking the first conference of the Women Democratic Union held in Paris back in 1945. Palestinian Journalist Syndicate celebrates International Women's Day by calling on all media bodies to provide a safe work environment to guarantee equal rights of female journalists. The syndicate congratulated all Palestinian women on the occasion, especially journalists, stressing the need to reiterate demands to protect female journalists and securing equal rights with their male counterparts. It also expressed deep support for the efforts to stop violence against Palestinian women and reforming laws to guarantee women's rights in a safe, violence-free environment. National forces hold events to honor Palestinian women on the International Women's Day. A number of political and national bodies celebrated the event, lauding sacrifices by Palestinian women. The Ministry of Information stressed that the government is committed to implementing all international treaties related to women and to introducing laws that will guarantee the end of all types of discrimination against women. On International Women's Day, women are up for the competition. Movement in Tunisia honors female media personnel and activates the Amna or Forum. The movement held a conference over women's image in the media and means of boosting the role of women in transitional societies. On the International Women's Day, Tunisia's National Women Union mourns lack of recognition. The media office of the National Tunisian Union mourned what they described as lack of recognition of gender equality. They also honored a number of figures for standing up for women's rights in Tunisia. Achieving equality is a challenge by Moroccan women to invade decision-making positions. Coinciding with the International Women's Day, Morocco's head of women associations of female contractors held a meeting over means of empowering women to enter the field of decision-making. The event was held under the title Gender Equality is the Path Towards Development. Now we're going to present to you a special report about International Women's Day, and we'll be right back with our host, my dear Fadila. Stay with us.
For Women's Day Live, women are gathering in every village and city around the world to celebrate more than 100 years of progress. On International Women's Day, join us at this pivotal moment in history and seize the clear opportunity to make poverty history by empowering women and girls in the world today.
Simply put, women and girls are the poorest, most excluded group on the face of the earth. That's why promoting gender equality, goal number 3 of the UN Millennium Development Goals, is so important. In fact, cutting poverty in half by 2015 depends on it.
I am powerful.
I am powerful.
It's a source of power the world can no longer afford to overlook.
If ever the world sees a time when women shall come together purely and simply for the benefit of humanity, it will be a power such as the world has never known. That time is now.
We are those women.
For the first time in history, millions of women joined the World March of Women in 161 countries around the world. This historic global gathering of women marched against poverty and the widespread violence towards women. Now, every March 8th, on International Women's Day, the women gather worldwide. Each year, their voices grow stronger.
The more women mobilize around their issues, nothing could stop us because of the power of our numbers. We're worth equality. I do think if each of us stands up and calls on our courage, the world really will change for women.
Empower women, change the world, and I believe this is very true when it comes to women, especially here in Egypt. Women play a major role in changing everything here in this country. Ever since the revolution broke out back in 2011, women have been very efficient in taking part in every single event that takes place here in the country. They are calling for empowerment as well. They are calling for